For most people, the story about aging and muscle is always the same. After 60, you're supposed to get weaker, slower, and more fragile, as if your body had signed a contract that says, from now on, everything is downhill. Maybe you've even heard phrases like, at your age, it's normal to lose strength, or, of course you get tired, you're not 30 anymore. Those sentences sound reasonable on the surface, but they hide a dangerous idea, that nothing you do really matters, that once muscle starts to disappear, you're just a passenger. What many geriatric specialists see every day, however, is almost lo contrario of that message. They see people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who still build strength, still improve their balance, still recover stability and confidence when they introduce very small, very focused movements into their routine. The muscle does change with age, yes, but it does not lose its ability to respond. It just requires clearer signals and smarter habits. PMC. In this video, I want to be that calm voice in your ear that tells you something simple and hopeful. You can still do a lot for your muscles, even if you feel out of shape, even if gyms are not your thing, even if your knees complain. And today, we'll focus on one specific habit that many geriatricians use as a starting point with their patients, a single 1-minute move. 60 seconds, no equipment, no gym clothes. A tiny block of time that, if repeated consistently, can help slow muscle loss after 60 and protect your independence in a very real way. Before we go into that move, let's name the problem clearly, without drama and without denial. The technical name for age-related loss of muscle is sarcopenia. It describes a gradual loss of muscle mass, and more importantly, muscle strength and function. This doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow, progressive process, but its consequences are large. More difficulty getting out of chairs, more trouble climbing stairs, slower walking speed, and a higher risk of falls and fractures. Over time, that can mean a loss of mobility, a loss of confidence, and, for many people, a loss of independence. PMC. If you've noticed that certain movements have quietly become harder, you're not imagining it. Maybe you used to stand up from the sofa without thinking, and now you have to rock forward or push with your hands. Maybe stairs that used to be annoying are now a small challenge that leaves your thighs burning. Maybe you avoid kneeling because you're not sure you can get back up easily. These are not just little annoyances. They are early signals that your muscles are losing strength faster than they should. This erosion of strength doesn't just affect your legs. It ripples out through the rest of your life. When simple movements feel heavy, you're less likely to go out for walks, less likely to join social activities, less likely to say yes to invitations that require movement. The world slowly shrinks to the distance you feel safe walking. That means fewer steps, fewer chances for the muscles to be used, and even more loss of strength. It's a spiral that feeds itself if nobody interrupts it. There's also a hidden emotional cost. When your body doesn't feel reliable, your self-trust suffers. You might worry about falling in public, about slowing other people down, or about being a burden during trips or family outings. That anxiety can touch every area of your well-being, including the way you feel in your relationships and in your intimate life. It's hard to relax and enjoy connection when you're secretly afraid your body will fail you if you need to move, turn, or get up. Now here is the part that changes the story. Your muscles may have lost mass and strength, but they have not lost their ability to adapt. They are still listening. They still respond to the signals you give them. What research in older adults shows, again and again, is that even simple resistance-type movements, done regularly, can improve muscle strength, walking speed, balance, and overall function, even in people well past 60. The key is not intensity worthy of an athlete. The key is consistency and targeting the right movements. Lippincott Journals. The challenge is that many traditional exercise plans feel overwhelming. 3 sets of 12 reps 3 times a week sounds like homework. Join a gym sounds like a big project. Do 150 minutes of exercise per week sounds abstract, especially if you've been relatively sedentary or you live with pain or fatigue. So instead of starting small, many people postpone everything until they feel ready, and that day never quite arrives. Naciones Unidas. That's why the 1-minute move is so powerful. It removes almost every excuse. You don't need special clothes. You don't need a membership. You don't need an hour. You need one safe chair, 1 bit of floor space, and 60 seconds. The move I want to share with you is built around one of the most important functional actions you perform every single day: standing up from a chair. Geriatricians and physical therapists use a simple test called the chair stand or sit-to-stand test to measure lower body strength in older adults. They ask someone to sit in a standard chair and stand up and sit down repeatedly for a set time, usually 30 seconds. This simple action is such a strong window into real-life function that it predicts things like fall risk, walking ability, and even long-term outcomes. If you can stand up from a chair easily, you are much more likely to manage other daily movements well. Physiopedia. So the 1-minute move you're going to learn is a gentle, home version of that. 1 minute of repeated sit-to-stands from a chair, adjusted to your level, done once, twice, or several times a day. It doesn't look dramatic. No one will stop and stare at you like you're doing extreme sports. But this movement quietly works some of the most important muscles for aging well. The muscles in your thighs, hips, and buttocks, along with the deep stabilizers around your spine and core. Let's walk through exactly how to do it, step by step. First, choose the right chair. It should be stable, with 4 legs on the floor, no wheels, and ideally with a straight back. A dining room chair often works well. If you sometimes feel unsteady, place the chair against a wall so it can't move backward. Make sure the seat is high enough that your hips are at least level with your knees when you sit. If the chair is too low, you can place a firm cushion on it to raise the height. Now, sit toward the front half of the chair, not all the way back. Place your feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart, with your toes pointing roughly forward. Your knees should be bent around 90 degrees or a little more, and your heels should be directly under or slightly behind your knees. This position gives your legs the best leverage to push. Place your hands lightly on the sides of the chair or on your thighs, depending on your level of comfort. If you feel confident and safe, you can cross your arms over your chest. If you are just starting or you have balance concerns, it is absolutely fine to use your hands to help. Safety always comes before ego. Now here is the actual move. Take a calm breath in. As you exhale, lean your chest slightly forward to bring your nose over your toes. Press your feet into the floor and push through your legs to stand up until your knees and hips are fully extended. Try to feel your thighs and hips doing the work, not just your lower back. Once you are fully upright, pause for a moment, stand tall, and then slowly bend your hips and knees to sit back down with control. Imagine you are trying to place yourself quietly on the chair, not drop into it. That is 1 repetition. For the 1-minute move, you set a timer for 60 seconds and repeat that stand and sit cycle as many times as you can, comfortably and safely, at your own rhythm. You do not need to rush. You are not competing with anyone. The purpose is to give your legs 1 focused minute of real work. In the beginning, that might mean 5 or 6 repetitions. With time, you might reach 10, 12, or more. The number is less important than the habit. If standing all the way up feels too hard right now, you can start with a smaller version. You lean forward and lift your bottom just a few centimeters off the chair, then sit back down. That partial lift still activates your thigh and hip muscles. Over days and weeks, as they strengthen, you can gradually increase the height until one day you are fully standing. The key is that you challenge your muscles without scaring your joints. If you use a cane or a walker, you can position it nearby for support as you practice. If you are afraid of losing your balance, you can place another stable chair in front of you and lightly rest your hands on the backrest as you stand and sit. And if you have any history of serious heart conditions, very high blood pressure, recent surgery, or severe joint problems, talk with your healthcare provider before starting. This move is simple, but your safety always comes first. Now that you know what the 1-minute move looks like from the outside, let's explore what it does on the inside. Each time you stand up from that chair, your body recruits a large number of muscle fibers in your thighs and hips. Those muscles are critical for walking, climbing stairs, and protecting you from falls. By repeating the movement, you send a clear signal to your nervous system and your muscles. We still need strength here. Don't shut this system down. Over time, your body responds by coordinating those muscles more efficiently and, when combined with adequate nutrition, by maintaining or even building muscle tissue. Lippincott journals. The first big benefit you may notice is easier transitions. Standing up from low seats, getting out of the car, or rising from the toilet all share the same basic pattern of sit to stand. When you train that pattern for one focused minute at a time, those everyday actions become smoother. You feel less stuck at the bottom of the movement. You rely less on your hands. You feel more in control of your own body weight. That alone can change how willing you are to go out, visit friends, or stay active in your home. A second benefit is better protection against falls. Many falls happen not during sports, but during transitions, standing up too fast, turning, or taking the first steps after getting out of a chair. When the muscles around your hips and thighs are stronger, they can catch you more effectively if you sway or if your foot slips a little. Combined with basic balance practice, this 1-minute strength habit becomes part of your personal safety system as you age. Physiopedia. A third benefit shows up in your walking. Sit-to-stand drills train the same leg muscles that you use to push the ground away with each step. People who work consistently on this pattern often find that their walking speed improves and that they can handle inclines or longer distances with less fatigue. That extra capacity can be exactly what you need to keep up with grandchildren, join a group walk, or simply feel at ease going around your neighborhood. A fourth benefit is metabolic. Your legs contain some of the largest muscles in your body. When they contract against resistance, even for a minute, they help your body manage blood sugar more efficiently and improve your overall energy use. Short bursts of effort, repeated throughout the day, have been associated with better cardiovascular health and lower risk of early mortality, even in people who don't follow traditional workout programs. Your 1-minute move is like a tiny metabolic spark that reminds your body how to stay alive and responsive, not just present. Tom's Guide. A fifth benefit is joint support. Stronger muscles around your knees and hips act like natural shock absorbers. They help distribute forces more evenly when you sit, stand, climb, or descend. If you live with mild to moderate joint wear, strengthening the supporting muscles in a controlled way often makes daily movements more comfortable. The key is that the exercise is closed-chain and functional. Your feet stay on the floor, and the movement mimics actions you already do, which is generally gentler on the joints than random, isolated machine work. A sixth benefit appears in your posture. The act of standing up with intention invites your body to stack your head, shoulders, spine, and pelvis in a more aligned way. Over time, As your leg and hip muscles get stronger, your body has less temptation to collapse forward. You may notice that you stand a little taller, that your chest opens more easily, and that breathing feels more spacious. That vertical, aligned posture sends a strong signal to your brain and to the people around you. I am still here, present, alive. A seventh benefit is psychological. Having one small, clear, doable habit builds a sense of agency. Every time you do your 1-minute move, you are telling yourself, I am actively participating in my aging process. That feeling can melt some of the fear you may have accumulated about getting older. When you catch yourself moving better, your inner narrative shifts from, I'm falling apart, to my body still responds when I care for it. That shift often extends into other areas: eating, sleep, social life, even how you experience intimacy and connection. It is easier to feel confident with another person when you feel that your body can handle basic movements without drama. So how do you integrate this into your actual day? One of the most effective approaches is to tie your 1-minute move to routines you already have. For example, you might decide that every time you make coffee or tea, you will do 1 minute of chair stands while you wait for the water. Or perhaps you do one round before breakfast, another before lunch, and another in the late afternoon. 3 minutes in total. That's all. If 3 sessions feel too much at first, start with 1. Choose a specific time or trigger. After brushing your teeth in the morning or after the evening news, and keep it sacred. The power of this habit is not in a heroic effort once a week, but in gentle repetition. Your muscles don't need fireworks. They need regular reminders. Organización Mundial de la Salud 6. As you grow stronger, you can play with variations while keeping the movement safe. You might slow down the lowering phase to make your muscles work harder as you sit. You might pause halfway between sitting and standing for a second or two. You might add a very light weight, like a small water bottle held against your chest, as long as your joints feel comfortable. If you already feel very stable, you can place your feet closer together to challenge your balance a bit more. Each of these adjustments increases the challenge without making the move unrecognizable or risky. Let's bring this to life with a few brief stories that mirror what many older adults experience. Imagine a man in his late 60s who has slowly become afraid of stairs. He still uses them because his apartment has no elevator, but every climb leaves his legs burning and his heart racing. He starts avoiding trips outside that require extra staircases. After his doctor explains that his leg muscles are deconditioned, he begins the 1-minute chair stand routine twice a day. The first week, he struggles to do even 6 repetitions in a minute. He feels clumsy and a little discouraged. But he keeps going. After a month, he notices that he barely needs his hands to stand up. After 2 months, the stairs still require effort, but the burning sensation doesn't arrive as fast. He can carry a small grocery bag without stopping on every landing. Nothing magical happened. He simply gave his legs a repeated, focused reason to get stronger. Now picture a woman in her early 70s who loves spending time with her grandchildren. They like to play on the floor, but she has begun to avoid getting down there because getting up again is slow and awkward. She feels embarrassed and old in front of them. She decides to try the 1-minute move because it feels less intimidating than a full exercise class. She starts by lifting her hips just a few centimeters off the chair, using her hands. Gradually, she stands a little higher. After several weeks, she can stand fully without using her arms for most repetitions. One afternoon, she realizes something. She just got up from the rug after playing, without thinking about it or needing help. Her body responded to the training quietly, in the background, and gave her back a moment of freedom with her family. Think of a couple in their mid-60s. One partner has begun to complain often about feeling heavy and weak. He doesn't like formal workouts, but he agrees to do the 1-minute chair stand routine after dinner if his partner does it with him. It becomes their tiny ritual. They clear space in the living room, set a 1-minute timer on the phone, and stand and sit side by side. They smile, they compare repetitions, they cheer each other on. Over time, not only do they both gain leg strength, but they also feel more connected. They walk together more. They share less anxiety about one another's falls. Even their intimate life benefits from feeling steadier, stronger, and more alive in their bodies. Finally, imagine an older adult in their 80s who lives alone and has started to fear being the person who falls. They move very cautiously, almost stiffly, and that stiffness ironically increases their risk of tripping. With the help of a physical therapist, they adapt the 1-minute move to their reality. They use a higher chair, they keep their hands on the armrests, and they move slowly. At first, 1 minute seems impossible, so they do 2 rounds of 30 seconds. Over weeks, their thighs become a little stronger. They still move carefully, but now they feel that their legs can catch them better. They are not just hoping not to fall. They are actively building the muscles that protect them. In all these examples, the common thread is not youth, perfect health, or athletic ambition. The common thread is a small decision repeated many times. I will give my legs 1 minute of clear work. That decision echoes what public health guidelines keep emphasizing for older adults. Any movement is better than none, and simple muscle strengthening actions done regularly can significantly improve health, function, and quality of life. Organización Mundial de la Salud. As you consider this 1-minute move, there are a few important reminders. First, pain is information. Mild muscle effort, a sense of working, or short-term burning in the thighs is normal when you train, especially at the beginning. Sharp pain in a joint, chest discomfort, dizziness, or feeling as if you might faint is not. If anything feels wrong, stop immediately and talk with your healthcare provider. There is always a way to adapt. There is no prize for pushing through warning signs. Second, this 1-minute move is a foundation, not a full house. The ideal plan for healthy aging combines leg strength, upper body strength, balance work, and some form of regular walking or other aerobic activity that fits your circumstances. But most people never get to that ideal because they feel overwhelmed. Think of the chair stand minute as the doorway. Once you experience how responsive your body still is, you may feel more motivated to add short walks, balance practice, or light upper body exercises. Starting small is not a weakness. It is smart strategy. Third, nutrition matters. Muscles don't grow from movement alone. They also need enough protein and calories to repair themselves. After 60, many people actually eat less protein than their bodies require. If you combine your 1-minute move with meals that include good protein sources, such as eggs, fish, lean meats, dairy, tofu, or legumes, you give your muscles the raw materials they need to respond to training. If you have medical conditions that affect your diet, work with your healthcare team to find the right balance for you. Cleveland Clinic. If I had to compress everything we've talked about into one sentence, it would be this. A simple 1-minute sit-to-stand drill, repeated consistently, is one of the most powerful, realistic moves you can use after 60 to slow muscle loss and protect your independence. It is never too late to send your body a new message. Your muscles are not decorations from your youth. They are living tissue that responds right now at your age, with your story, to the signals you choose to give them. 1 minute at a time, you can decide whether those signals are silence or strength. As you finish this video, I invite you to do something very concrete. Look at the chair you sit on most often at home. Imagine yourself performing this 1-minute move there. Ask yourself, What would it look like if I gave myself this single minute every day? If your situation allows, try one gentle round today, maybe even right after this video ends. If you found this helpful, consider sharing it with someone you love who is also worried about getting weaker with age. Sometimes people just need to know that the door to change is still open, and if you want to keep exploring natural habits for healthy aging, muscle protection, and vitality in maturity, you can subscribe and stay close to this space. Your future self is already watching you from a few years ahead, grateful for every small, consistent choice you decide to make today.